is Bold TV.
A lovely morning to you, wherever it is you are viewing beautiful, outstanding ladies with disabilities TV this beautiful Saturday morning on either your Facebook or YouTube channel. We welcome you to yet another beautiful edition of the program where we discuss issues as it affects and concerns women and girls with disabilities in Nigeria and across the world. We are here today again. Myself, Oluwatomisin Adeyefa, who is your host on today's edition. And I have a fellow co-host with whom together we shall be discussing an important part of our life as women and girls with disabilities. To start with, we shall be introducing ourselves. Thereafter, we'll move on to introduce the topic and we would commence our conversation in earnest. My name is Oluwatomisin Adeyefa once again, like I said. I'm a broadcast journalist, a copywriter, a gender and disability rights advocate who is based in Abeokuta, the capital of Ogun State. I'm a visually impaired person, and it feels really good and awesome to be here with you this morning. Afyong, over to you.
All right, beautiful people out there, good morning. It's another lovely Saturday morning. My name is Afyong Etum. I'm a co-host on Bold TV, member of Bold Hearts Network. I use a wheelchair from spinal cord injury. I'm a medical art scientist and I'm based in Ikoyi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so kindly, Afyong, for joining me on today's edition. And together, we shall be discussing asking for help as a woman with disability. Help. We shall be looking at what is help, how do we ask for help, why do we need to ask for help, and so many other things in between. So my first question on the show today would be, as a woman with disability, Afyong, what does help means to you?
Okay, help. I think help is a generic term, and it cuts across different facets of life. And for me personally, help would mean, getting assistance, being able to ask someone to do for me what I'm not able to do for myself, being able to get someone else who may be more able to do, carry out a task or, assist me in any capacity where I am not able to do so for myself. For me, at the very basic level, that is help.
Thank you very much for that one. And I cannot agree less with you. Help is asking for assistance. And as persons with disabilities, we oftentimes depend on people, machinery, or like we say now, maybe AI, that's artificial intelligence, to get some of our jobs, some of our tasks, some of, where we need people to come in for us done. So help is you asking for assistance, someone being able to be there for you. Maybe a machine is also, doing or performing the task of human or AI, as the case may be. So it makes us, it takes us up onto the next thing. When we talk about help for persons with disabilities, sometimes it's easy for us to misunderstand or mistake it for dependency. So Afyong, is there a similarity between help and dependency? If not, is it different? What makes it different?
I would say yes, there is a difference. And at the same time, there's also a similarity. One, help is a form of dependence. You cannot ask for help without having to depend on someone else, without having to, relinquish control to someone else. Because if it were something within your control, you wouldn't need help. So it's a form of dependence. But when it comes to dependency on its own, that means it's a situation whereby you may not even realize you have not explored your own capabilities. And so you rely on others for everything. You're not just asking them to do for you some things that you may not be able to do, but you rely on them to do everything for you. For example, a person with a disability, maybe who has just, recently been disabled, and may not really be familiar with how to navigate the new normal, such a person may decide, may not know what they can do for themselves if they've not been taught how to be independent. They may require people to do everything for them, take them to the bathroom, bathe them, cook for them, feed them, clothe them. So they may not, their level of independence is, little to none. So that's where the difference is.
Thank you very much, Afyong. Help and dependency, there's a thin line, just like Afyong has said, between those two. When you need help, you're possibly needing help for some things that you cannot do on your own. And trust me, sometimes, even though some things that you cannot do on your own, at some point, you begin to learn ways of doing it on your own. And so, in no time, you are used to it, and then you may become independent and probably do not even need anybody to offer their help anymore. However, dependency is when you absolutely need people to do, if not all, nearly all of the things for you. And this is something that a lot of us battle with as women and girls with disabilities, by extension, persons with disabilities, where people around you feel like you're a burden on them. Like you cannot do anything on your own, you can go out on your own, you can eat on your own. They must be there to witness you do certain things, and it sometimes could be depressing for the person with the disability. It could also be tiring for the other people who are offering the help. At that point, it looks like you are dependent solely on them, and a lot of things also comes into play. You find out that sometimes they begin to step aside even when you need the help, and you might be forced into learning the hard way to do some of those things yourself. So this is something that as women and girls with disabilities, we require often, but we do not have to, get used to it or be overly dependent on it, or not be able to find other means of getting your activities done without having to burden other people. And it brings me to the next question. Quite a smooth conversation we are having here, Afyong and myself, on Bold TV today, talking about asking for help as a woman with disabilities. How then do we ask for help to establish the fact that, yes, you cannot be an island? Sometimes you need people to come to your aid. And I've also mentioned that sometimes coming to your aid, not all of the times you need human help. Sometimes you depend on machines, or you depend on artificial intelligence to get things done for yourself. So moving on, how do we ask for help so that it does not, cross the line to be dependency? How do we ask for help so that we don't seem like we are burdening, or we are being a burden? Let me put it that way, on people, family members, friends, colleagues around us. I know people who, when they are with, a person with a disability, they won't talk. They won't want you to know they are there, because they feel like you would overburden them with whatever. Oh, help me with this, help me with that, help me with this. And sometimes they cannot say no. So how do we as women with disabilities ask for help?
I think the simplest thing you can do is just ask. Don't make assumptions. Don't assume that the other person will not want to help. Don't assume that they don't want to help, or they don't. Just ask. Ask for help. In some cases, people may offer to help. It's up to you to now accept or decline, depending on the circumstances. But no matter the circumstances, number one, always remember that you are not entitled to anyone's help. You are not entitled to anyone's help. So if somebody offers to help you, don't see it as a right. If you ask for help and somebody says no, please, even if you feel bad, keep it to yourself. Don't take offense. That person owes you nothing. So simply ask. Find yourself in a situation where you might be, difficult situation, and it's like, for example, for me, I need to navigate a certain terrain, and I know that I may not be able to do so by myself without, hurting myself. So I can just call on somebody nearby, and I'm like, oh, please, can you help me with this? See, this is what I need you to do. And don't just assume that the person knows what to do for you. so that you don't get upset when they do the wrong thing. Imagine Tommy asking someone to guide her, and the person grabs her cane. The person takes over her guide cane and then drags her by the dress. Imagine how that would look like. So when you ask for help, explain exactly what you need. I need you to hold this plate. I need you to help. Yes, because the person might just, so I've had people trying to help me. Maybe I'm getting into a vehicle that is higher and I'm not able to reach the indoor handle to hoist myself or take myself up. And he doesn't want to hold you. And if it's a man and the guy just goes for your armpits and probably his hands come for your boundaries will be crossed, and you'll be like, in your mind, the person is to slap the guy as in, how dare did you tell him how to hold you? You will slap somebody and they will leave you on the road. So don't assume that anybody, don't make assumptions when it comes to asking for help. They may not, the person may not know what to do. They're just trying to do the best they can. So assume they are ignorant, explain exactly what you want, how you want it done. If the one person is not enough, you ask them if they can get someone else to join them, but be very explicit when it comes to what you need, the kind of help you need and how it should be done. So that, there are no mistakes and you don't get upset and, feel like, why are they doing like this? How can you not know what to do? It's like me telling somebody, okay, I've had situations where I get to a car, the person doesn't know how to hold the wheelchair. I can't start saying, how can you not know how to hold this thing? It is not. It's not as if it's umbrella that everybody knows. So I cannot assume they should know how to hold a wheelchair. Because the person one, somebody almost carried it like that to the car. I was wondering, I had to laugh first. After laughing, I said, okay, come, let me do a tutorial for you. So I don't make assumptions. I tell you exactly what I need and how I need it done. If I'm not comfortable with how, sometimes some people can insist. Madam, don't worry, I know what to do. Don't worry, madam, calm down. You're not the first person. So if in that kind of situation, don't get upset. The person is zealous. The zeal of the Lord is upon them. So calm down and tell them, wait, let me tell you what I need. I know you've helped other people, I appreciate it, but please let me just do it my way so that I feel comfortable. When you do that, the person will also realize that, this is a different person, it's not the same. So let me calm down and listen. So but don't take offense. Don't assume that they are out to get you. Nobody is out to attack you. Many times people are ignorant. So most times I tell them, this is how I want you to hold me as you help me. So that boundaries are not crossed and nobody gets offended. And I get the help I need. And please, don't take it as your right, like I said. Please say thank you. It's a magic word. The way we teach children. Say please and thank you. Don't assume it is your right to be helped.
It's your right
say
to be
please
helped. No.
And thank you. Very key.
Okay, thank you very much, Afi. I'm talking about being clear. Someone was shared an experience with me. Now, this is a man with a disability. He wants to go to the toilet and then he needed help. And this lady volunteered to help him to the toilet. And when they got into the toilet, she actually went in with him and ignorantly attempted to help him unzip his trousers. So, talking about being clear on what you want, I mean, the man was not sure what was happening when she stepped into the toilet with him. So he was a little bit confused, like, okay, why are you in? And so before he could say Jack Robinson, she wanted to help him with his zippers, and he had to, say, no. I was even wondering, were you helping me to get water or something while you came into the toilet with me and things like that? So you might want to be very clear because people want to help, really. I mean, for the sake of empathy, sympathy, call it whatever, they want to help. And so being clear would, enable them know what to do at what particular time it is. So moving on, I want us to talk about treating our helpers. Okay, so now helpers could come in so many forms. It could be family members, like I said, it could be friends, it could be colleagues, it could even be somebody you employ for that sake. And these days I see a lot of organizations employ what they call volunteers. Now, these volunteers are people that are positioned to probably help persons with disabilities at events or at meetings or at gatherings and things like that. In some countries, you have, social workers who have been employed by the government to help out people who really need their help. So there are numbers you could call if you need somebody to come in and help you with one or two things and all of that. So that's in other countries. We hope we get to that point in Nigeria where I want to do something as a person with disability, and I could have organizations or government officials to reach out to say, okay, please, I need somebody at my address, and have the person come in and help me. So as persons with disabilities, I've heard quite a whole lot of stories of how persons with disabilities, treat their helps, and the helps sometimes, they feel somehow and reluctant to be of help to other persons with disabilities. So how do we treat our helps? What are the things we should do? And I remember Afyang, you mentioned one key way of treating people who are around you, providing help, is thank you. So there are others who want to let us know. By the way, even when my Google Assistant does something for me, I say thank you. That's even to an artificial intelligence. So it's just, courtesy, just like we teach children to say the magic word. So what other ways can we, treat our helpers, people around us who provide help in one way or the other? How can we be better persons to them?
Okay. Like I said, be courteous. Especially in a situation where the person is probably paid help. There's a tendency to feel entitled to their presence. Because after all, I'm paying you. So you should be at my beck and call. If I so much as sneeze, you jump. But that shouldn't be so.
You fly.
If I call you more than 2 times and you not appear immediately, what happened? So no matter what, you're dealing with a human being. So whether you're paying them, no matter how much you're paying anyone, first and foremost, respect that person as a human being and treat them as such. Be courteous. Secondly, set boundaries. Be very clear about what they can and cannot do. And the consequences that will come as a result of breaching those boundaries. Don't assume they should know. For example, like that man that the woman followed inside the toilet, and maybe somebody would think she had ulterior motive, but that was not the case. She was just eager to help. Make it clear. This is what I need you to do for me. Beyond this point, you don't, cross this line. For example, you live with someone who helps you. You let them know that if you're able to do your personal grooming by yourself, you just let them know, okay, maybe get water ready for me. Just prep the bathroom for me. I will go in by myself. You don't need to come in with me. And when I'm in the bathroom, you don't come in unless I specifically ask for you. You don't come into my room unless I specifically ask for you. Let them know what their duties are. Spell it out clearly. What they should and shouldn't do. And then let them know the consequences of doing the things you have told them not to. And I follow through with those consequences so that they understand that you mean business. Especially when it's paid help. It's a professional relationship. So draw the line. So that somebody, because you smile at somebody today, tomorrow they feel, this madam is nice, so maybe I can try her perfume. That kind it happens. Even with when it doesn't involve disability, we know it happens. And the person may be tempted to, after all, what will she do? So let me push those boundaries. So there must be consequences in place that you're willing to follow through. Either a pay cut, or you tell them that if it is repeated, you will fire them. Let them clear cut rules, set ground rules. Let them know how far they can go and no further. And then when it comes to family, the same thing applies. Set rules. Yes, you may not do, consequences, and then let them know that, look, this is what I need. I appreciate your help, but I don't need you to go this far. And if for any reason they treat you in a way you deem wrong, or in a way that is uncomfortable for you, or violate your rights in any way, speak up. You let them. I do not deserve to be treated this way. By the time you speak up once, twice, everybody will step up, because they will realize that you know you're right. They will realize that this one no go, this one this one Madam Law. You know, that kind of thing. So always be clear
Yes.
about your boundaries. And then another thing is that when you're dealing with human beings. You're dealing with human beings. So when it comes to help, be sure, always fulfill your own side of the obligation. Someone cannot do all those things, help you around the house, and all that. When it comes to the time for you to fulfill your own end of the obligation, especially when money is involved, you speak grammar. It will not work.
Or you say, can't you do it for charity, for God's sake?
You feel that they should. You've not seen my condition. Is she responsible for your condition? Did she condition you? So why are you asking somebody? You had an agreement, madam. I will collect so and so amount. Oga, you will pay me so and so, and you agreed. If possible, put it in writing. You agreed to it. So when the time comes, please fulfill your end of the bargain, so that you have full authority and moral rights to apply consequences when they breach the rules. It's not when months end, you'll be like, you know, because you've been giving them maybe small egusi sometimes. That is your own prerogative. You chose to do that. When it comes to money matter, don't try it. Don't mess with somebody's money. Pay them when the time is right. If for any reason you can, please communicate effectively. Communicate. Let them know, please, I need some time. I will settle you. Do not assume that they should just, can they not see? Don't they know it's not easy? If it was easy for them, they won't be coming to work for you. So please fulfill your end of the bargain. And then if you step out on the road,
thank you
for help from people on the road, because I've had a taxi driver tell me, cab that I was paying for Bolt, I've ordered ride came, I pay, we don't have price, everything. I finished entering the car I was with my sister and my children. I don't enter motor finish. Driver, please help us put the wheelchair in the boot. Say no, that's not his work. He cannot do that kind of work. It was like he shocked me. He shocked me. The guy said that is not his job description.
What if you were carrying a load, not your wheelchair?
And this is in the night. I said this is in the night, so missing at night. I just told everybody, please step down. I cannot come and beg anybody. He's not carrying me for free. He said, everybody step down. Please bring the wheelchair. Let me bring myself out. I stepped out. The guy drove away. I ordered for another wheelchair. And I'm like, how? So don't assume anything about people who say no to you for whatever reason. So it's not a right. Getting help is not a right. It's not an entitlement. It is out of the goodness of somebody's heart. So unless you're paying for it, well, you may just have to know that it can come in any form. And if you're not comfortable with it, speak up and say so. I've had people grab from behind and just push. And I'm like, hey, calm down. Don't worry. I don't need help right now. I'm okay. You know? So it's not like I'm not going to start shouting or anything. I will just be very calm because I know the person was not intending to kidnap me. The person just felt, how can I allow her to be suffering alone? Let me go and help this fine girl. So I will, as a fine girl that I am, I will tell the fine boy, please don't worry, this fine girl is capable. We are going
helping myself.
And so please, like we said, be courteous, no matter who it is.
Yes.
Always, always, always. Be nice to people. It doesn't matter whether you like what they're doing or not. Be nice. Say no nicely. You don't have to, unless the person is insisting. And that means that is a violation of the person not respecting your wishes. Then you can raise your voice. But if not, just say no. More often than not, somebody will walk away and be like, okay, sorry. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Be courteous, be explicit, set boundaries. These are words of advice right there when treating your helps. Be family members. Don't say because the person is your husband or your wife, they do not deserve thank you. No, you say thank you when they have done anything worth or worthy of being appreciated for. Whether you are paying the person or not, you should be courteous. Treat them as humanly as possible. And Afiam, while you were speaking, especially when you were talking about boundaries, and I remember that during my documentary for violence against women and girls with disabilities, one thing I discovered was that people who claim to be of help to you are those persons that perpetrate abuse. And when you come out to say, oh, my caregiver or my spouse or a family member or someone I consider a friend who has been of help to me is abusing me, the society tends to look at you with that kind of, you should be grateful eye. So I want us to quickly touch on that because it has to do with people around us trying to help. How do you, as a woman with disability, deal with this kind of negative stigmatization, negative stereotype wherein you are free? I mean, what's the approach wherein you are free to actually speak up when someone who is offering help or services to you is violating you? How do we approach this subject matter as a woman with disability? How do you come out and speak about it that it does not look like you are being ungrateful or you are not appreciating the services being offered to you? Sometimes these services come free, and so they expect you to just take it all in and not complain, as it were. So how do you manage it in such circumstances as a woman with disability?
More often than not, it's the free services that often, empowers the other person to take liberties. Because if I'm paying you, for God's sake, I can fire you, leave my house. I can even call the police for you. I will call the cops on you, so don't even try it. But if it's a free service, there's always that sense of guilt, on the part of the receiver, the person with disability, because you feel, oh, if it were not that I'm in this condition, this person will not, be taking out their time to come and help me. So that guilt is what often keeps many people silent. They feel that, this person is already helping me. Well, I will just manage, I will endure. At least he's doing this for me, doing that for me. So in most cases, you cannot control how people will respond. You're not responsible for how you choose to see that situation. If you came out today and you had burns all over your body, nobody will stop to ask you, was it somebody that burned you? Or did you fall inside fire? Everybody will kind of, make some assumption. So everybody will always have something to say. People will judge you, no matter what you do. So the first thing you should always think of is protecting yourself. Value yourself enough to say no when somebody is not treating you right. It doesn't matter what they are doing for you. They are not God. Even God, who gave us life, has not once maltreated us. If God decides today he wants you to die, it is well within his rights. So he didn't give you life. So why will a human being who has not even done a fraction of that now feel the need, have the rights to now treat you like something, like an animal? So first and foremost, value yourself enough to understand that you deserve to be treated right. It is well within your rights to ask for and receive help. Like, even though I said yes, not a right, but there's nobody in this world that does not need help at some point or the other. So it's not just because you're disabled. It's not just because you're disabled. We all need someone. We all need someone or people to help us at some point. So if just because somebody is helping you does not make you a burden, no. Please, if you have ever thought so, remove that thought from your mind. You are not a burden because someone helps you. You only become a burden where you are not helping yourself. But if someone helps you once in a while, that doesn't make you a burden. Everybody needs help. Whether you pay for it or not, everybody needs help. That person that is helping you, whether you pay for it or not, is also helping themselves because they are learning something new. They are learning how to be compassionate. They are learning how to be kind. They are learning how to deal with somebody who is different. So value yourself enough to know that you deserve to be treated right, regardless of your condition. And so the minute somebody treats you anyhow, please say thank you and bye-bye. Please and thank you, not just for receiving help. Thank you is also for walking away. Just walk out. Just say thank you and bye-bye.
Bye.
You have done well so far. I appreciate it, but please let us answer our Father's name from today. Simple. So value yourself enough. It doesn't matter what people will say things. Yeah, she's so ungrateful. The person may even go and spin one story like that and paint you like the devil's sister-in-law. That's not your business. It's none of your business. people will talk, even if the person didn't say anything. People will talk, she's so ungrateful. After everything the person did,
everything that you do,
the person pack it, the person pack peace, the person bath am, even though the person didn't know, they will add it, maggi and salt. The person do this one, do this one. After everything, she get mind. You see all these people where their leg look correct. You see all these people where their eye know they know they see road. Fear them. People will talk. It's not your business. Take care of yourself first. You are number one. Put yourself first. And anybody who does not value you enough to treat you as you deserve, please, like I said, thank you and goodbye. That is enough.
Thank you very much, Afion, for that beautiful perception there, perspective right there. Value yourself enough to walk away from situations that do not add value to you, that take away your energy, that take away your emotions, that take away, your wellness. So value yourself enough to that point where you can say no, regardless of what the society has to say. Whether you die, die, people will still talk. You have money, you don't have money, people will still talk. So why not just put yourself in that position where you can live and live to the fullest? Also, I also want to talk about, helping your helpers to also find value in themselves and finding value in what they do. I know a lot of organizations, even individuals that have permanent caregivers, helpers in the house, as persons with disabilities, helping your helpers to also find value in themselves and in what they do. Let them, also engage in activities that give them some kind of self-investment, so that, they are around you. They are not just offering to help you develop and grow yourself. They are also growing and develop as well on the side. Sometimes that's up to posterity, that's up to your conscience, but it might be something you also want to do to also ensure that, you treat helpers around you with some kind of positivity and, value as well, because they are humans too, and this deserves to be treated as such. We really had a very beautiful conversation, Afiong and myself, talking about asking for help as a woman with disabilities. Right here on Beautiful Outstanding Ladies with Disabilities Television, Bold TV. Thank you so much for joining us. And lastly, I'll just ask Afiong, what would be your parting shot on this episode before we say our goodbyes?
Before we go, I'd just like to say to every woman out there, you are capable. You are capable. Asking for help does not mean that you're not able to do things for yourself. It just means you're courageous enough to acknowledge that I can't always do everything. It takes courage to acknowledge your weaknesses. So you are capable. Do as much as you can, but please do not shy away from asking for help. And even in doing so, put yourself first. Prioritize your well-being and don't leave it in the hands of other people.
Thank you very much. Prioritize your well-being. You're capable. Yes, you are. Being a person with disability does not make you less of your capabilities. And so while you need help, please do not be afraid. Do not be shy. Do not be timid. Do not be, skeptical about asking for it. Ask for it. Ask politely. And when you sure get the help, treat, whoever is rendering the help with utmost respect and appreciation. Thank you so much, Afiong, for joining me on this episode. I really do appreciate your presence. And to everybody who is currently at home, at the office, at wherever it is you are viewing this video, we want to appreciate you once again for joining us on our Facebook page and on our YouTube channel. Do continue to show us your support by liking our videos, commenting, sharing our videos wide and far. And please, if you would want to participate, you want to sponsor an episode, or you want to contribute in any way possible, reach out to any of the co-hosts, Freki, myself, Afiong, Osaki, Grace, and Constance. You can reach out to us on our Facebook pages and or our WhatsApp contact if you have them or if you are within the Bold Heart Network, you can reach out to any of the admins right there and offer whatever it is you want to support us with. We'll be expecting your support. It is very crucial in driving this show on and on and on, as we want to continue to touch light these issues and provide solutions as best as we can. So we come your way again next week, Saturday, 10:30 a.m. on your Facebook page and your YouTube channel, right here on Beautiful Outstanding Ladies with Disabilities Television. On behalf of every other co-host, I am Oluwatomisin Adeyefa, and together with Afyong Etim, we say bye-bye. Join us again next week.
This is Bold TV.